All right, so today is Saturday. This is just going to be a video following along with my trades. So right now I am in three positions still. I'm in two positions on this account that I'm doing the challenge on. So this CHR trade I was in the last time I made an update for this challenge, and this is a new position on BLZ. The one that I was in got stopped out for a break even right here, and then I took another loss after that. I tried to get into another short with this, but I am now in a winning trade with that. And the Bitcoin trade that I was in, I did close out, like I said I would, once we broke 5 minute structure. So I'll go over that. And I am also still in the Euro USD trade that I took a few days ago, probably by now. Obviously, it's the weekend, so this isn't trading right now, so I'm not going to do anything with this right now, but I'll post screenshots of what I've done with this trade so far. Again, I'm just learning how to trade this kind of stuff, Forex, stocks. The only commodity I've traded before this was gold, and that was because it was on Femex. So I'm, learning with this stuff. I'm not going to put a bunch of money on an exchange and just start trying to trade assets I don't know how to trade. So I'm starting small with this as well. I'm taking the same size risk as I would with this account. I'm risking about $1 per trade at the moment. Let's start off with Bitcoin. So I closed out my Bitcoin trade like I said I would once we broke 5 minute structure. And essentially what happened with that, if I go to a low time frame, unfortunately I closed this trade out, pretty much as soon as it bottomed here, but we haven't really gone much higher either. We only came up to SFP this high, so it's not that big a deal. I took profits up here, and when I originally entered this trade, I entered on 5 minute market structure. So once that went against me, I closed the trade. And if another entry was provided, then I'd take another long entry. So so far we have gotten a 5 minute market structure break back to bullish. Prices have come up to SFP this high, and I was planning to long this if we got a retracement and I had this little demand zone marked out. Now the question is, do I want to look for a long on this retracement into demand after we SFP the high? Because at this point, this high can probably be considered, I'd say, 1 hour market structure definitely. So we can actually update all of these levels that I have marked out. Can delete that line, delete that. Well, did not mean to delete the box, but I can delete all those market structure points, and I can just go ahead and mark this low out now as a 1 hour higher low. Because, well, what has happened? The 1 hour structure goes from high to low, high, higher low, and this is technically a higher high, even though it was an SFP. This is still now considered a 1 hour higher low. So, these boxes down here probably aren't relevant anymore, but I think this box, the one that's close to that 1 hour higher low, could definitely still be relevant. So I'm going to leave that on. And this was also, a very probably insignificant little block there. So it is like a 5 minute order block, also a little range, probably a 10 minute as well, but a little demand zone below our 1 hour market structure point. We'll leave it up just for the heck of it. But I am going to delete that box because it's pretty insignificant. That leaves us with this at the moment. So, we're in a 1 hour uptrend. We have a little bit of demand below this market structure point, which we could SFP into. That's a possibility to look for. Looking at the lower time frames, internal structure here, we had a downtrend which broke bullishly right here. So right now price is trading in between these two internal market structure points, high and low. And this literally spans this entire range that we're trading in right now. So, not ideal. But following the structure from this high, we have gotten a bullish break here. We'll have to check that on other time frames, but we did put in a lower low here, making this the lower high. And on the 15, we closed above it. So we may have an internal bullish break from this high, possibly marking this as a higher low in this structure. But let's check the higher time frames and look at that. The 30-minute was an SFP. So no bullish transition here on the 30-minute. And I would maybe call this 30-minute structure. Actually, I don't like the fact that the high and the low were put in, 2 candles apart. The candles were neighbors, and that's usually not a good thing when you're looking at market structure. On the 15 minute, oh, it's the same thing on the 15, so that's, not great actually. Yeah, I mean, I'd be more comfortable calling this 5-minute structure probably, and we did get a break on the 5-minute. So, take it with a grain of salt. We may have gotten a bullish break of the internal structure, but it's nothing that I'm super confident in. So, that being said, I don't think trading conditions right now at this very moment are great. So, I don't feel too bad about having closed out my long. It was a good enough long anyway. I took it from, all the way down here, wrote it up, so that was a good position. So I don't know how I feel about trading this internal structure right now. It's kind of in the middle of the range as well. I think I would rather look for trades at the extremes of this little range, which if we come up to SFP the high again, I'll have that marked out because it could be that local distribution that I was talking about in my last video. Just a little different. So, originally I was looking at maybe this being distribution 1, 2, and 3, but this tap came very long after this one, so maybe now it's turning into a more extended 3 tap where maybe if we come up to SFP this again, get a move into this area of supply, which we front ran again, which is another reason I think we may come up for the highs. That could be a distribution here, and that might be reason to retrace on this larger uptrend that we've been in. And I may also be interested in an SFP from the low of the range. So those are probably the only 2 trade ideas I'd be interested in with Bitcoin right now. And I will also go over this short that I took on BLZ. So right now my position looks like this. And I entered this after an internal market structure break and after an SFP of this higher time frame market structure point. So we SFP'd it, and then we broke structure internally. This was very low time frame, so it was kind of a risky entry, honestly, but I wanted something else to go along with my idea of shorting the SFP, and we did have what I would call maybe 3-minute structure here. And actually, no, I wouldn't call this 3-minute structure, and reason being the low was put in the same candle as a high. So I would call this more, 1 minute, maybe 2 minutes, but I can't look at the 2 minutes, so I can't tell you. I basically entered this on a 1-minute market structure break following that SFP. So yeah, that was my trade idea. I took a 50-cent risk on it. It was a scalp trade, so I am trying to be very strict with taking 0.5% risks on scalps, especially if they're kind of low confidence and especially if they're an altcoin. So I took a 50-cent risk on it, and I mean, it turned out to be a very great position so far. I did take profits pretty aggressively. That's another thing I do with scalps is I take profits when I have them because, it can reverse at any moment and I can get stopped out and potentially turn a winner into a loser. So I did take profits pretty aggressively. If I didn't take any profits so far, I would be up 4.62 to 1 on a 50-cent risk. So that would be 4.62 divided by 2, since it's 50 cents. And I'd be up $2.30. Right now, though, I have 60 cents in realized and 95 cents unrealized. So yeah, I took profits pretty aggressively. I'm not disappointed that I did, though. I would do it again. I like to, just secure winners when I can, especially when trading altcoins. And we'll quickly check on this other trade that I'm in. So let's see, my entry was right here on this break of structure. And so far, this higher time frame structure has maintained itself. Let's see, we actually did not close a candle above here. This was just a bunch of wicks. Even though this was a very slow process of SFPing this high, we technically never closed a candle above there because we had this SFP to begin with, then this SFP, then this SFP, then this SFP. So yeah, we never actually closed a candle above that high. So that's one thing going against my position, definitely on the 1 hour. We can check for a 4-hour close. There's a chance that did get a break, but it actually didn't now because we had this wick to begin with, and yeah, we never got a close above the break of structure line. So With this position, my stop loss right now is right about here. It's a little bit below this market structure point, just in case we come down to SFP it. And I do have a decent amount locked in with this one, 82 cents. I'm up about 50 cents in unrealized. So I have my stop loss and profit. If it gets stopped out right now, I'll profit about $1. All right, it is Monday morning, and I want to make an update on my trades. So right now, on my MEXC account, I'm only in one position. I'm in a Bitcoin long. The two other trades that I was in got stopped out for a profit. So here's the BLZ trade, 86 cents profit, and the CHR was $1.01 profit. So now the only two positions I'm in is this Bitcoin long, which I'm actually in this long on another account as well. I took another small position on a different account, and I am also in this Euro USD short still, which I have not closed because we haven't broken the downtrend yet. We have, gotten this SFP, but we have not been able to close up above the break of structure point. So I'm still keeping this open. And yeah, basically for this one, once we close up above this line now, I will close the trade out. I'll talk about this Bitcoin trade. I'm not going to talk about it too much. And I'm not going to take credit for it, I should say, because this is not my trade idea. If you remember earlier in this video, I said I was interested in two Bitcoin trades, really, either an SFP this high or an SFP this low into the supply or demand. And I wasn't really interested in too much in the middle here. Well, that changed when White Phoenix posted a decent looking setup of a potential Wyckoff here. So yeah, this was White Phoenix's trade setup. If you want to, follow along with White Phoenix's trade setups, he's an amazing trader. Join the Jason Casper VIP Discord. Personally, I think it's a great value. I'm learning most of what I know about trading from these guys. They are fantastic traders, and that is where I got this long position from. So yesterday, once I saw that, maybe we're forming a Wyckoff here based on the White Phoenix post, we were somewhere around here. We had these two lows in already, and I was looking for a potential third SFP. We got that, and on the low time frames, we did get a break of structure as well. We had a little structure point here, more of a range, but, it worked for, at least a little bit of extra confluence to the SFP. So once we got the SFP, I waited for this high to break, and I entered right here, and I had a scare with this one. Price came down literally almost to the dollar, hit my stop loss. My stop loss was literally right here. So I almost wasn't in this position on both my accounts. I set my stop loss to the same spot. So we came down to SFP that low again, which means, we either have a Model 1 like this, where, this is third tap altogether, and then, we had these two other taps, or now you could look at it like this, where this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. Either way, since the high of the range was right here, the high of this model was put in after tap 2, so it doesn't matter which one you're calling it, because the target's the same. At least, the target for the high, the Wyckoff, is still going to be this high, regardless of which one you're looking at. So that was TP1 for me. Once I hit that, I set my stop loss to right about here, down below this little retracement that we got before the pump. I consider that like in the little area of demand, so I wanted to cover that with my stop, and I had, a small profit locked in with that. So my TP2 was this high up here, and my TP3 was this high, and I took out a decent amount of my position there, but I ended up taking out more profits up here because we just kept on pumping through, and now, we clearly did not SFP the high. We blasted straight through the high, and now we are sitting in the middle of this supply zone that I talked about. So the idea of us getting a distribution into supply, at least for right now, does not seem like it is going to happen. So I think this is still a significant area of resistance, and yeah, we did break structure bullishly in order to get back up there, this internal range structure, with the lower high being right here. But if we get a market structure break back to bearish while in supply, that could be another trade idea. So, if we maybe spend some time up here, come back up to take out the high once more, and then get a bearish break, that could be another idea that I'm looking at. So it's a little bit later in the day, and I just closed out my Bitcoin long. I said I was going to do that once we broke structure on any time frame, but really the only time frame that we could look at a structure break on was like the 5-minute or lower. So yeah, we had this 5-minute high or low. Once we broke that, I closed the long because on the 15-minute, we can technically retrace all the way back down to this low, the SFP that I longed to get up here, because we just broke structure over here. So we could just be continuing this structure pull from high, low, and now another high. So I didn't want to hold my long all the way back down to my entry and, lose the extra profits that I had from it. I was up about $2 extra unrealized. I closed it out at like a little over $1. And again, it's basically a $3 even win. The last one was 305. So another $3 win. And I also closed out my Euro USD trade. Finally, we came up to break that high. So, yep, that trade is closed out as well. So adding up all of the TPs I took from that Euro USD trade, I made about $1.80. So I risked, I think, $1, maybe 75 cents on the trade, something like that. So now most of my positions are closed out. I am still in the long I took on my other account, so I am still in this trade technically, but not very much. I left a little bit of that open, just kind of hoping that we continue the structure, put in a higher low, and just continue pumping here. If I closed out that trade when we broke structure, I would have gotten like an extra 80 cents. I already have $1.20 locked in. I figured I'll just let that one ride, and I will be more strict with my profit taking on this account because I actually have an objective here. It's to grow this account. And now we are finally back up over the amount that I started with. We're over $100. I started off this challenge pretty poorly. I took some losses that I probably shouldn't have taken, just stupid trades. But we've been on a bit of a winning streak recently. Had, that one's basically a break even, but now on this account, 4 good trades and, 2 trades that were over 3% gainers. So, not bad for the past couple days. So as for what I'm watching next, the only Bitcoin trade that I can really see right now being a possibility would be a retest after we got this dump. And we do have a little area of supply up here, a little retracement that we got before we came down to break structure, and that gave us a very aggressive move down. So I think this is looking like a pretty decent supply zone. If we get a retrace up into there and I see some sort of signs, maybe like a sharp reaction once we bump into supply, maybe we break structure up there, like some kind of low time frame internal structure, any reason for me to want to take a short there, I may look for one. And depending on the confirmation, I may cover this high with my stop. Or, if we get some kind of market structure break, something that looks convincing, then maybe I'll just cover that and give myself a little bit of room. That's one idea I have right now. Other than that, I'm not really looking at too much. I mean, maybe an SFP of this low now, since that is now technically the 1 hour higher low. So that might be another idea. And I can delete that line. Is this demand zone still important? I would say probably not. And, if we had any demand here, it was tagged already, unless there's something very small in this little chunk of price action. But, I'm not too worried about that. If we SFP this low and there's like divergences and we get a good reaction, maybe we break structure. That could be another idea, would be long in the reclaim of this low. And that's really all I'm looking at for Bitcoin right now. I mean, I didn't take the bearish break in supply. I didn't take that short. So, I'm kind of hoping that we get a chance at a re-entry here or retracement into the supply, because there's a chance that we dump, a significant amount from here. We are retesting pretty significant supply here. And, there's a lot of reason to come down, I'd say. A lot of stop losses below probably. Even some inefficient price action down here. So that's really all I'm looking at with Bitcoin, and I am still watching altcoins. I have this list of trade ideas I'm looking at with a bunch of random altcoins. So if I get a chance to enter any of these, I will do that. And, that's going to be about it for this video. I'll pick things back up in the next one. So thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. and I'll see you all in the next video.